In this video, we're going to talk about the pros and the cons of living in downtown San Diego. I've been a long-time resident here, so I've got a pretty good idea of what are a lot of the great things about living in the city, and I've also got at least a handful of things I could probably do without. But before we get started, my name is Wesley Guest, and I'm a local real estate agent down here in downtown San Diego. I make videos at least once a week at this point about living in the city. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you're looking for help moving to, from, or within downtown San Diego, or anywhere in San Diego for that matter, don't be shy about reaching out to me. My contact information is going to be down below in the description. All right, let's get this started. Pro number one, without a doubt, is going to be the convenience and walkability factor of living in the city. In fact, if you live in the city, it's probably one of the few places in San Diego where you probably don't even really need a car.
Is that a fact?
Give you an idea what I'm talking about. Like a day for me might be, I get up in the morning, I like to go to the gym first thing, so my gym is right across the street. I walk out my door of my building and it's literally right there. When I'm done there, 2 blocks away, my coffee shop, very easy. But you get an idea where I'm going with this. In addition, you're gonna have all the great restaurants down here. You're gonna have, if it's a little later, maybe happy hour, you're gonna have the bars, even like nightclubs, if that's your thing, and all the other entertainment that goes along with like living in the city. There's gonna be a farmer's market, an amazing farmer's market in Little Italy. Check that out if you haven't already. Point being, I mean, you walk out your door, everything's walkable. Pro number two, I just kind of touched on it, but it's going to be the incredible nightlife that happens in downtown San Diego. There's going to be amazing bars, like restaurants, like kind of like wine themed kind of bars.
Karaoke, awesome.
And things that get even a little more wild than that, spread throughout the entire kind of downtown, although most of those are going to be situated in the Gaslamp Quarter, or I'd say like Little Italy now, like off India Street, a little bit in East Village, but not a ton of options. Pro number three is going to be like the amazing weather, although you're gonna catch that throughout San Diego. It's not really specific to the city, but you're a part of it. And then the amazing like scenery. So when I say scenery, I'm thinking like when you go down like on the harbor walk, so when you go along like the water on San Diego Bay, check out the ship. There's a maritime museum, which is really cool. The USS Midway is kind of a pretty much world famous, the aircraft carrier museum. You go on there, it's pretty cool. You just gotta check it out. But the views are gonna be spectacular. You can see the Navy ships coming in and out of the bay. You can see the aircraft carriers across the bay, the ones that are actually in service. It's a huge perk to living in the city. I mean, if you're using it, let's say to like jog, I mean, you can go there every day. Number four is gonna be the more like cultural attractions. So in some of this, in full disclosure, is gonna be like in the Balboa Park area. So I'm talking like museums, theaters, like kind of galleries, that kind of stuff. Balboa Park is right next to downtown San Diego. Of course, some of that's gonna be available like in the actual city as well. There's like comedy clubs, there's the opera, there's a symphony now, which is actually on the water, which is off the harbor walk that we were just talking about. That's amazing if you can catch a show there that you wanna see. Pro number four is gonna be, and this is gonna be kind of specific to maybe what you're doing down here, but there are a lot of job opportunities and there are a lot of potential like employers down here. A lot of the high rises you see are gonna be apartments and condominiums, but you're also gonna see a lot of high rises that are more commercial. And they're like companies and corporations, and the city of San Diego has a big presence down here as well. Pro number five is gonna be the public transportation system. This is usually not a pro you can really talk about in very many other parts of San Diego, but if you're living in the city, you're gonna have transportation options. There's a trolley. You're also gonna have the train station, so you're gonna have Amtrak and the coaster. And for ride sharing options like Uber or Lyft, you're never gonna have a problem getting an Uber. And don't forget, you're still gonna have those like by the minute, you can check out an electric scooter. If you need to just go a few blocks, I mean, they work out pretty well. And the pro that I love the most that I wanna cover is gonna be the fact that we have the San Diego Padres right down here in the city. Petco Park, a lot of people have been to Petco Park. Maybe you've already been to Petco Park. Maybe you go to a lot of games at Petco Park. I go to a lot of games at Petco Park. If you see me, say what's up. But now it's time to talk about the cons. So I think con number one is gonna be the fact that it's a pretty high cost of living. I mean, I can't really think of anything that's gonna be less expensive down here than probably anywhere else in San Diego. Unless you're talking like beachfront property in La Jolla, but there's not a whole lot of that down here. There's a lot of new apartments that were just built, which is, I guess that's more of a pro. Con to that is that most of the new housing and the apartments that have been built in downtown San Diego, they're all luxury, or they call themselves luxury apartments, so they can charge a premium. And in fact, even in like the present conditions in the real estate market, I mean, mortgage rates are up a little bit, so you pay your payment like per month if you buy like a condo down here. In a lot of cases, it's less expensive to buy a condo than pay like an exorbitant rent fee. Con number two is gonna be, it's crowded and there's definitely a noise factor. So the first thing, the construction, there's a lot of construction going on. Roads are gonna be closed. I mean, it can be very inconvenient depending on where you live or where you might need to go. Not to mention cranes, building steel high rises. It's not the quietest thing that happens. And then you're gonna have like the emergency vehicles. So, and by all means, emergency vehicles, get there as fast as you can. It's a pretty noisy event down here. That sound bounces off the buildings and it gets pretty loud. And then special events like a baseball game at Petco Park. I mean, depending on the proximity to where you live, I mean, that can be pretty noisy. And then there's just a lot of other concerts, different events, conventions, that can bring a lot of people into the city. So you need to account for that. Number three is gonna be something that's been getting a ton of attention lately. It's gonna be homelessness. So if you live in downtown San Diego, in any of the neighborhoods, you're gonna encounter homelessness. There's no way around it. It's definitely happening. There's definitely gonna be certain areas in downtown San Diego where you're gonna see more homelessness than others. East Village is gonna be the biggest like kind of homeless area, but East Village is huge. So when we're talking East Village and homelessness, it's not the entire East Village. It's really the areas closer to like 16th or 17th Street, kind of up against the freeway. Another area where there's a lot of homeless happening is gonna be like around the post office now. And then you're starting to see a lot of homelessness up 10th Avenue, like right as you get off the freeway. That being said, you're gonna see homeless activity throughout downtown San Diego. It's kind of a part of living in the city. Con number four is not like a huge issue for me, but it's just something that can be a little irritating at times. But there's gonna be like more touristy seasons. Think like people coming on vacation. I mean, San Diego is a tourist destination. Downtown San Diego, the gas lamp is gonna definitely be a tourist destination. Times of year when people are vacationing, there's gonna be more people. Might be better or it might be worse, but just expect that. Definitely gonna be more people. On number five that I run into, or I should say more so like visitors run into, it's not easy to park down here, especially with a lot of the new construction that's happening. If you have somebody coming down to visit, it's just for a few hours, maybe they're coming down for the night, maybe a family coming in for a couple days.
Parking spots.
It just isn't a lot of like temporary like guest parking or street parking spaces. And then the last con I kind of want to touch on, which is specific to like living in downtown San Diego, is the fact probably going to be living in some sort of high rise or at least like a mid-rise apartment or condo or something like that. If anything happens,
Knock on wood, knock on wood, knock on wood.
you're gonna have to deal with stairs, right? So if you have an emergency, power goes out, there's a fire alarm goes off, not even necessarily a fire alarm, you're gonna have to use the stairs. So depending on what floor you're at, I mean, if you're on the second floor, probably no big deal if you're able to use the stairs. Not everybody's even able to use the stairs. But let's say you're living up on like the 25th floor at the Mark in East Village. I mean, if the fire alarm goes off and you need to go down, or maybe even worse, back up, that's something very specific to like downtown that I think a lot of people, before they come down here, they don't think about that. So something to keep in mind. All right, so hopefully that doesn't turn you off too much from living in downtown San Diego. Those are just from my point of view, my lifestyle and living here for a while. I mean, those are the things that I could think of. I mean, there's gonna be more. Absolutely, there's gonna be things that are very specific to probably your lifestyle that I didn't think of. If that's the case, drop them in the comments. I mean, I'd absolutely love to hear what your take is. And don't forget, if you need help moving to downtown San Diego or anywhere in San Diego for that matter, don't be shy about reaching out to me. My contact information, once again, is gonna be down in the description area. And if you found this video entertaining or informative, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. That would help me out a ton, and I'm putting out videos like this specifically about living in downtown San Diego at least once a week. And if you're looking for your next video, check this one out. I think you might like it. Have an amazing day.